All right. To start us out, I would love for you to drop your links, drop your socials. You can even tell us some of your favorite things to do on your channel, and kind of just like a little about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anybody who doesn't know me is not familiar with my content. My name is SirKatelyn. You can call me Sir. You can call me Katelyn. Do not call me Kate.
Okay.
I don't
Oh,
go by
okay.
Kate.
Okay. Okay.
I make that so clear, and people are like, "Oh, well, what if I joke?" No,
No.
don't.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Good to know.
on my channel, I play primarily horror games year
Okay.
round. I
Okay.
am a Halloween baby, but I play them year round.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know that you're super into it too.
Yeah. You see.
I've seen. Um, but I also just kind of like go into these random mishmash conversations about bigger topics. So like
Yes.
we are very body positive in my channel. We're very sex positive in my channel. So we talk about sex all of the time. We talk about body positivity all the time. We talk about bigger issues as far as like about what's happening with the BLM movement. We talk
Yes.
about things like ableism. We talk about everything that might just come up in chat.
Yeah.
We don't really have an agenda. If I go off the hook, I go off the hook.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm yelling at trolls. Sometimes I'm putting on funny filters. But I'm always trying to create a space where I can be some sort of a good time for somebody else. By being 100% myself. I never compromise who I am on my channel. That's my house. That's my rules. I don't care
Yeah.
comes in my chat. Like if you're gonna disrespect me, my mods, my community, I'm 100% not here for that.
Yeah.
And I don't have to take it either because it's my channel.
Yeah. No.
So aside from that, I'm very active on Twitter. I'm also on Instagram, but the name has 3 N's at the end and
Okay.
not just one.
Okay.
So I mean, you can find me SirKatelyn everywhere.
Yeah.
Really.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah. I found you first on Twitter, and I believe it was a conversation. My memory is very bad, so I apologize. But it was definitely one. It was like a clip or something, and it was definitely a conversation, a deep conversation. And I was like, I need to follow this person. I love their attitude, like how they just live life and they have that no care attitude. I need more of that in my life because I care way too fucking much. So followed you, and then we raided you one night, and you were a frog or something. You were singing like a frog, and it was just perfect. I just felt this is a fun place to be. This is where I want to be, and so that's how we met. If you wanted a little bit of a backstory, I guess, but no, again, thank you so much for joining me. I always like talk about this just a little bit, like. Our schedules are so crazy as content creators. This is such a perfect time for us to spend time together too. And like, I've always wanted to spend time with you. And now this is like, yes, we get to talk about something big, but we also get to like spend time together. And that's what this is about to me, is like getting to know like people that I admire and like love, like, I love you, and I just thank you for being in my life and for teaching me things, and I'm excited to just kind of get into this conversation. But thank you all for being here too.
I love conversations like this. I recently had my best friend on my stream, like just to like I was like, hey, do you want to just like turn on Discord cameras and we'll just like talk for a while? And we did that. And it was one of the best streams that I've had because people got to ask us questions about our dynamic and about content creation and about who we were. And it was just like a really kickback conversation. And it was so cool to have that. So I like these kind of conversations where we can just talk.
Yeah. Yeah. And like my community gets to know you on a deeper level, and then your community might get to know me a little bit. I mean, if but like this is just a way for me to kind of spend time with you, like selfishly, and like just get to spend time and just like pick your brain. I don't know. I have a lot of love to give, and you've been so accepting of it, and I just really appreciate that.
Of course.
But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and kind of jump into it. So I think the perfect first question to kind of jump into this whole conversation is like, what does body positivity mean to you? Like, you could do it in like a nutshell, or you can be super specific if you want and like tell a story.
I don't know if I have any stories. I just think that like I spent my entire life being the fat girl.
Yeah.
Like I've always had like a weight issue. I've always either been like a little bit too chunky or a little bit not chunky enough, and it just like I was tired of hating my body. I was tired of being told that I had to hate my body because I'm not a certain look or I'm not a certain size. And you know, it's not always about weight with body positivity. It's about
Yeah.
anything. It's about your hair, it's about, you know, your eyes, your shoulders, whatever is physically about yourself that you're not quite fond of, or that you have insecurities about.
Yeah.
That's what that means to me. Is like, there just came a point after I gained a bunch of weight back. I was like, I'm tired of trying to fit into someone else's idea of what I should be, and I'm just gonna own what I am. I like pizza
Yeah.
too much
Yeah.
to just starve myself, and so I'm tired of feeling bad for being my thick, chunky self.
Yeah.
And that's really where it started for me. So I think body positivity means, for me, I don't have to hate myself because of what I physically look like. I can love myself no matter what I look like.
Yeah.
You know, whether or not I'm chunky or not chunky, or, you know, my butt falls off, or like I have to goodness forbid I have to have like a double mastectomy and I don't have boobs anymore. Like I get to love my body in spite of everything.
Yeah. No, and then I fucking love that, and I resonate with that so much. Sorry, I just got so pumped up because, like, if I could answer this as well, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know, I talk a ton about my chronic illness because, first of all, there needs to be more awareness on chronic illnesses.
Sure.
And second of all, because no one really knows about it. And so for those who don't know, I have Hashimoto's disease. It is fucking terrible. I would never wish it on my worst enemy. But anyways, body positivity means exactly what you just said. I have just gotten to a point in my life. I'm still working with some things, which we can get into later if I feel drawn to that. But
yes,
I'm still working on things. And I have just gotten to a point where I'm so fucking sick and tired of just hating myself. I don't ever remember a time since I was 13 when I first got signed into the modeling industry where I have loved myself. Right. There's always been an issue. I've always hated something about myself, and I'm just like, I'm about to turn 30. Like, I'm just so sick of it. Like, I'm sick of playing these games with my mind and my body. And so, like, as much as, like, getting diagnosed with Hashimoto's disease has changed my life and has made things a lot more difficult, I am so thankful for it because now I have to. I have no fucking choice. My body is going to do whatever it wants to do, and I have to accept it how it is.
Right.
The end, you know, period. Like, one day, and the thing with, like, Hashimoto's or just chronic illnesses in general is, like, weight fluctuation. I am a different size one day to the next, and I have to accept myself every single day. It's just, like, working on that acceptance. So, like, I'm glad that you mentioned that because I'm just so sick of just not liking myself and my body.
I think that goes across the board too.
Yeah.
I mean, with something like a chronic illness, it's different because I can't imagine the struggle that it must feel like to think that, like, hey, I don't like what I look like, but why don't I like what I look like? And then also to kind of feel that because you have this disease or disorder or disability, that your body is somehow failing you, and that you should just accept that.
Yeah.
No, your body's not failing you. It's just, that's just who you are.
Yeah.
That's 100% who you are, you know?
Yeah.
And I love getting to know people with different disabilities, diseases, anything like that, because I'm like, hey, if I can in some way interject something onto you and help you love yourself a little bit harder each day, like, it means the world to me. Whenever people DM me after streams and they say, Katelyn, your talk tonight really spoke to me, or something like that, it really does warm my heart.
Yeah, and I think it's important here to mention too, like, for me, it's working on also not making my chronic illness like my identity. It's just a part of me. It is not me. So that's also something that I'm working on. But, like, as much as it sucked and as much as, like, it, you know, I'm in pain every day. It's not roses and rainbows, you know, but as much as it sucks, like, I have no choice. And I really think, like, I believe everything happens for a reason. And I think if I wouldn't have gotten diagnosed, I think I would have continued to go down to the path that I was on, where I was, you know, overworking out, like, I mean, multiple times a day for hours. I was counting my calories down to the, you know, most minute number, and, like, really not doing proper things for my body, you know, like, so.
Well, and then
I don't
also
know.
kind of breeds that unhealthy relationship with food. You
Yes.
know, I'm like, you never overeat, and you should never undereat. But like, if you have a piece of pizza, or you have half a pizza, hell, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, you should be able to say, hey, I love that pizza, and that pizza was the right choice for me at that time.
Yeah.
Or that bag of nuts, or that piece of bread, like whatever your thing is, do it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that it's hard. It's hard loving yourself despite the quote flaws.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. It's way easier said than done, right? I think that's important to mention here. Not every day is going to be easy. There are some days where I'm like, fuck yeah, look at this, bitch. Ooh. And then there's other days where I'm like, I don't want to look at you.
No, yes. There are days where I just avoid looking at myself, because I'm like, I am not going to feel good right now. I'm not going to do that to myself. I'm going to walk away from this.
Yeah.
Like, there's one thing that I share with my community every now and then, but I don't really put it out there. I have a speech impediment that I've had since I was a kid, and it's not a physical thing about me, but it's something that I've had to work through on my own. My mom never put me in speech therapy because she said that I didn't need it. So I use my own bridges, and I use my own connecting words to kind of go through it. So likes are my big ones.
Yes.
And also the word fuck is a huge one for me. I say the word fuck as a conjunction to everything else.
Yeah. And I love that.
It's just, it really does help me move through words. I don't stutter as much as I used to, but my God, I've worked through it so much, and I'm like, you know what? I'm almost 30, and this is a part of me, and I can't change it. My brain is wired to talk like this, so I have to go through it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. And like, 100%. That even counts for like those things that like might not be physical, on the outside appearance. It counts for those things too, like even accepting your anxiety and your depression. Like, just like, you have to love yourself through all of these processes, because if you don't, it's going to make things a million times harder. Mm-hmm. I am definitely learning that. But I really resonated with like, I'm just so fucking sick of just like hating myself. Like, I'm done with it. It's tiring. It's annoying. I don't want to do it anymore. No. So
nobody wants to live like that.
No, it's horrible. It's a sickness.
I mean, at the end of the day, we're all looking to just be happy and do what we love and be with those we love. And I think that hating yourself is not going to get you anywhere. I think it's going to make you resent yourself a lot more. And life is so short, and I'm almost 30, and I'm like, I'm tired of hating myself.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. So I think this like kind of goes into a really good question, and like kind of leading into the next part is like, so what are some things that you do or that you've done to kind of like celebrate this journey? Like, okay, like I feel like kind of the weight lifting off my shoulders of like the negativity. Like, what are some things that you've done to kind of celebrate yourself and your body and your journey?
I saw that question when you sent it to me, and I was like, I don't know if I have like any actual celebrations that I've done, because for me it's an everyday kind of thing.
Yes.
It's an all the time. I'm always taking my wins as I get them.
Yeah.
So
that's good. Yeah.
Whether my celebration is like I get to walk a little bit to feel better, or I drink an entire gallon of water, or I dance in my kitchen while I'm making food. Like, it's just these little micro things for when I'm having a really good day and I'm really just loving on myself hardcore.
Yeah.
I think that that it's just like everything else, consistency and continuing the conversation around body positivity is huge. So I try and do that a lot with all of my social media.
Yeah.
Whether it's talking about my body or experiences that I've had, or somewhere else, I like to share that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple of weeks ago, I posted a video on Twitter of me dancing in my bra, lip syncing. And I have never had so much fun posting a single video on Twitter. Yeah. And I was like, you know what? You're going to see my rolls. You're going to see my flabby arms, and I just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you don't like it, you're more than welcome to unfollow me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think this kind of leads into, I have always thought to myself, or said this before, but I really do think that the tabloid culture really shaped the way that people looked at women's bodies. 1,000,000%. Cellulite, rolls,
Fat is bad.
Yeah, fat is bad.
Fat has always been bad in every single form of media.
Yeah. So I think that also has a lot to do with the way that people perceive us. Like, this isn't dissing anybody, but like, if you look at a woman, just your average everyday woman, they're not gonna have a six pack. They're not there's gonna be some flabbiness to them, and that's beautiful. There's gonna be curves. There's gonna be, that shit is normal. But I feel like the tabloid culture that we, especially like, oh my gosh, in the early 2000s, like, Lord forbid if J-Lo even showed a little cellulite on her legs or some shit, you know, like, it was on the front page of a magazine, and that is just absolutely degrading and disgusting.
I mean, it still happens.
Yes.
You know?
100%.
Like, it still happens, and I think it's worse because it happens a lot in our space, in the streaming space.
Oh gosh, yeah.
But like you know, I mean, there's trolls and stuff, but then there's also people that just act like an absolute fool.
Yeah.
And they say stuff like, you know, oh, I don't date big girls, and the girl's like a size 10, and I'm like,
that's absolutely ridiculous.
Homie, I'm a size 14.
Yeah.
Like, yo, you need to calm down. You need to reel it back a little bit. Also, she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's this yeah, it drives me insane how we've let the media fuel a lot of what our thoughts are.
100%.
I'm glad to see that, like, there's a lot more of the plus sizes in stores. I really am, as like someone who's had to shop there before. But also it feels somewhat performative sometimes.
Yeah.
Where they're just doing it to try and be inclusive, because they don't really care about everyone's sizes.
Yeah.
Because my body is like, I have a small waist, and I have really big thighs, and I have a really big tummy. There's no clothes that fit me.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's body is so different, and so it's nice to see the inclusion.
Yeah.
But I know that we can do more, and I know that there's this whole culture of people who shame women for just being a little bit bigger.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and being in the modeling industry, if I could speak on this a little bit, you know, when I'm like, how far can I go into this? But, you know, like Victoria's Secret, let's just start there. I'll start there, and then I'll make the decision on the second thing. But Victoria's Secret, you know, they got shamed heavily for not having plus size models and transgender models. And then, as you see now, Victoria's Secret has come out with plus size models on their catalogs and stuff like that. That to me was very performative. That was, we need people to continue buying our products. Don't shop at Victoria's Secret, y'all. I'm sorry, but just don't. They're trash, okay? It's trash.
Also, their sizes for bras are really fucked up.
Oh, they're not even correct. They are not even correct. I am not a size. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I'm not a C. I am not a C.
They're all like, you are like a double F, and I'm like, no way in hell.
Yeah,
I was like, I have big boobies, but I am not that big.
Yeah, no, and I will say a bunch of times, like when I've gone to go shop there, I've had to go up like 2 sizes, and I know what size I am, and according to your tag, I'm supposed to be this other size, but I'm having to buy this size because your sizes are shit. Anyways, Victoria's Secret is trash. I'll say it. I don't give a fuck. The head of Victoria's Secret, he is misogynistic, and he is very much predatory, and their models don't get treated good on set. That's my first point. Don't shop at Victoria's Secret. Go to Aerie. They have always supported plus size women, disabled women, those with chronic illnesses, those with illnesses in general. Shop at Aerie. Second of all, I'm just going to talk about it because it's the truth and it needs to be talked about. But when we get hired to go to photo shoots, a lot of the plus size catalogs that you see, it's actually like a couple of sizes smaller, and they like stuff their clothes to make them look curvy. So that also gives the impression that you're not being inclusive because you're not hiring women who are that size truly.
Well, also to kind of snowball off that, like, people say that they have inclusion and plus sizes and stuff, but they don't have the typical plus size, which is they have a certain look, you know, flat bellies, big butts, big thighs, big boobs. And I'm like, yes, they are thick women. However, that's not what every woman in America. I mean, most women in America have the lovely pancake going on in the butt, and they got, you know, the
muffin
chunky chunks
tops,
up
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, we need to see that. I need to see how average person shopping at, you know, Bed Bath and Beyond,
Yeah.
Costco.
Yeah.
I want to see her in some stuff that I might wear.
Yeah.
I want to see me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to see someone who's dolled up. I want to see me.
Yeah, no, exactly,
you know?
exactly. And like, I am so proud of like Ashley Graham and like, you know, the plus size models like that, because they really are changing the game, you know.
Yes.
And like, it's plus size modeling makes more money than regular modeling, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know, I just look at it. But yeah, there is the difference between, or the issue of performative versus this is actually an inclusive brand. And I think as our generation pays more attention, we're able to kind of spot that out. That's why I'm like, Victoria's Secret, you're trash. You've never had plus size models until we called your ass out, you know? So, you know, it's things like that. And so, I mean, I would also like to kind of answer this question myself if I can,
Yeah.
but like, you know, having a chronic illness, like I can't work out as much as I used to. Like, I'll hurt myself.
Sure.
So on the days where I am feeling good, I try to get a walk in, you know, I try to dance, or I try to do the ring fit, you know, like things like that, just like celebrating myself.
Just move.
Yes, just move and just like love myself through that process, instead of like, I hate gyms with the wall of mirrors, because I'm not fucking watching my form. I'm looking at what I look like when I work out, and I fucking hate that, you know?
because your mouth is halfway open,
Yeah.
you're sweating up a storm. You're like, oh, I look the worst.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it.
Yeah, and like when I'm trying to do a squat, I'm like, ooh, look at that ass, instead of like, hey, I'm gonna break my back if I don't do this squat right. You know, like I hate that. So
Yes.
anyways, I just wanted to kind of answer that question too. But this kind of goes into our third point. And so, what are some struggles that you've faced? And like, obviously, trigger warning, this could go deep, this could go dark, you know, and for those in chat who might need to hear that, you know, but what are some things that you've struggled with?
I mean, there's obviously, like, I've struggled with like the idea that I'm never going to be good enough for somebody.
Yeah.
Because of my body.
Yeah.
I mean, that was me a few years back, especially like when I was struggling with my last relationship that I was in. I was like, you know, I'm not like every other girl, and that, you know, I don't mean that in like pick me girl kind of way. I mean that in the I'm shaped differently.
Yeah.
I look different. My skin is really red. This is a part of who I am, you know.
Yeah.
I have red skin, and I don't always feel gorgeous, and you know, my ex-boyfriend was not making me feel very gorgeous, and it was this whole like, I really don't like that I don't feel good about myself.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the I'm tired of hating myself. I just didn't know it at that time.
Yeah.
So there were days that it got really dark. I would just end up like crying on the couch after work. I worked in banking for quite a while. Like I still do, but I work in the back office, so it's not a big deal.
Okay.
I worked in the branches for a while, and for some reason in the branches, that was where I received most of the hate for my body. It was so weird. I was like,
yeah, that is very strange.
Count your money.
Yeah,
but
do you want your money or not? Because I mean,
the thing that happened a lot was middle-aged women would give their opinion on my body, and or they would call me pregnant, like because I have a chunky tummy and it hangs out like this, like this. I'm like, oh yeah. So this I started to feel really bad about it all the time, and I started crying sometimes. And then there was this one day, this lady was like, she was like, oh my God, how many months are you? And I was like, and I dead-eyed look at, I was like, I'm 25, so take 12 times 25, and that's how many months I am. And she dropped, like her jaw dropped. She was like, I cannot believe that person answered me like that, as if she like just understood that I'm not pregnant, and I was just sassing her back. Yeah. And that was the first time I felt like I owned this. I was like, yes. I was like, yes. I'm like, you don't get to make me feel like shit at work. I'm just trying to do my job. Yeah. Like, you know, go fuck yourself. Yeah. But it was a lot of those kind of comments for a very long time working in banking of, you know, my fingers are ugly, my skin is red, you know, my body is not the way that someone else wanted me to shape. And it was just a lot of those kind of things. And I started doubting myself a lot. Yeah. And it was a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I stopped trying to live up to people's expectations when I started to kind of go toward the I just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's been years in the making that I've come to be this magnificent creature.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just like it's been years of me trying to live up to people's expectations and hating it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And going back to what I want to do and feeling happy and just being who I am and being weird and loving it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And like, you know, being in the modeling industry, I mean, the first thing I heard when I was 13 years old was, hey, like, you need to lose weight.
Yes.
You know? And hearing that at 13 years old, I was like, I don't even have boobs yet. What?
I heard that a lot from my mother.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah. That. Yeah.
I love my mom so very much, and like I'm glad that I'm so close with her. However, she has always been my biggest critic about my body, and that's probably where a lot of my issues come from.
Yeah.
There was this one very vivid memory that I have. I think I was maybe 15, and like I was kind of talking to my first boyfriend, you know. I was like,
yeah.
I was feeling cute, you know.
Yeah.
And I come into the office to like ask her if I can have like $5 to go get like a coffee or something like that. And she looks at my belly and she rubs it and she's like, you're getting kind of big. And I was like, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just give me the $5. Yeah.
I was like, just give me the $5.
Bitch. Yeah.
I was like, so now I'm gonna go get coffee that's full of sugar. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was always those like snide comments. Yes. And I'm like, I had that ingrained that I had to be a certain way. I had to be a certain weight. I had to be a certain everything.
Yeah.
And she's not like a proper woman or something like that, but she's a little bit traditional with her values.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And I will say this too, to any mothers in the chat or a mother that's listening, or to those who are going to be a mother one day, please talk good about yourself in front of your kids.
Yes. Oh my God, that's so important.
Yes.
My mom has such a negative relationship with everything about her.
Yes.
And she still says it, and I try and battle back with like the positive comments. I'm like, Mom, I'm not trying to make you feel better, but like, you know, your hair looks great.
Yeah.
I was like, stop worrying about it. Your hair looks great. You look great. And she's always like, oh, I'm so fat. And I'm like,
yeah.
So what?
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah.
The thing is that me and my mom are pretty much the same weight. Yeah. You know, she's a little bit shorter than I am, but we're the same weight. And I'm like, so you're calling yourself fat. And then that deems yourself ugly in your own words.
Yeah.
So then you're reflecting that back on me.
Yes.
That's so important to not do that in front of your kids, especially your daughters.
Yes.
Especially because we're already so impressionable by everything around us. And 100%. It already builds this negative thing with our bodies. And I fucking hate it.
Yeah. And girls are mean. Like, I'm just saying, like, girls are mean.
Girls can be so mean.
Yeah.
So mean.
So don't be another girl in their life that like just adds to that fuel of just like not ever being good enough, because we already in society like get paid less than men, you know, like stuff like that. Like, don't already
Everything
add
is against us already.
Yeah. Don't add into
one
it.
More thing.
Yeah. No, exactly. So if I could give any advice, I love my mom too. Me and my mom have a great relationship, whatever. But I have told her since I felt comfortable enough and like, okay, I'm old enough to like talk to her about this, that I have always hated the way that she's like talked to herself in front of me. Like, oh my God, look at all my gray hairs. Oh my God, I'm getting so, it's made me terrified to age and like grow up. And, you know, oh my gosh, I feel so bloated today. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with being bloated. You also have Hashimoto's disease, Mom. Like, you need to accept these things about yourself. So big advice that if I could give that to anybody, you know, like, talk good about yourself in front of your kids, because that has really shaped the way that I feel about myself and my aging process. Like, I'm terrified to age, you know, like I'm so scared of it because my mom was always talking about how awful it is, you know? And then of course, being in the modeling industry, they don't fucking care. They're like, oh yeah, like you look disgusting today. And you're just like, I'm alive and living and I'm a human being. Like, why did you say that to me? You know? And like, as I get closer to my 30s, like I'm starting to realize like, want to dye my hair. I want to be covered in tattoos. You know, I just want to be my Latina self. Like, I'm so sick of trying to fit everybody else's shell and everyone's idea that they have for me. I'm ready to fit my own shell. I have this own thing that I want to do, not everyone else's version of me. So I'm finally getting comfortable in that, and like, you know, the fuck you, I'm so done with this shit. Like, I want to just love myself kind of attitude. So
it's so very important to put that out there and really wear it, and it's exactly right. Like, just fuck everyone else.
Yeah.
It's everyone else's opinion that bogs you down, and it's like, if you don't like what I'm doing, then you don't have to open your mouth, first of all, and you don't have to be here. I don't want you here if you're going to be a negative influence on my life. If your criticism is not constructive and it's not like snide, like I really don't want to hear it. I'm open to criticisms, but you bad mouthing my body is not going to do anything except for make me feel shitty. And you feel somehow superior. Which is never a way to be. If you have to belittle someone else, then you're not a good person.
No, you're not a good person if you have to bring someone else down to bring yourself up. That's just not.
You're a bully.
Yeah, that's just not how it works. And like, I state this a lot on my channel, but your opinion of me is not fact of me. Your opinion is not fact. It is just that, and it is just an opinion, you know? So I'm really having to like, who cares what they freaking think about me anyways? Like, here's the thing, and like, yeah, this is gonna sound morbid or whatever, but like, we're all gonna die. Like, we're all gonna die someday, and your idea of me is not even gonna fucking matter. Like, so why are you even gonna project that bullshit onto me? You know, like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, we're all here. Every single day that we wake up, we're like dying. You know, like I said, I know this sounds morbid, but like,
it's true.
It's just the reality of the situation. Like, it's just why are you going to expend that energy on me? Like, you could be putting that energy on yourself and trying to be a better person, but instead you just enjoy being an asshole, I guess. I don't know. But
I've never understood that mentality, and it drives me insane. Like, I stopped getting sad about it too. I'm just gonna let them. I will say my piece and move on, but I'm never gonna be able to change someone. They're gonna have to change themselves. And that's the hugest thing, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And like, you know, I've kind of talked about this a little bit, and like, you know, I've talked about it on Twitter a little bit. Like, I've started therapy, and one of the things I've gone to therapy for was just a super abusive, like, ex-best friend, like super abusive. And like, even feeling like I was never good enough, like, I feel like that also goes into this kind of conversation, you know? It's just like, never feeling like you're good enough, never feeling like you're gonna be anybody special to someone else, you know? Like, it's also working through those things too.
It's I felt a lot of those things in my last relationship. I got out of a 6-year relationship in June, and so this whole after relationship has been me just figuring out myself first and foremost. If you that's
a long time to be with somebody too.
Well, I mean, it's a long time, but also like it was a lot of will we, won't we kind of stuff. And he never wanted to commit. And so I was like, why didn't he want to commit? What did I do wrong, kind of thing. So it's been a lot of me talking to myself and just saying, you didn't do anything wrong, it just wasn't right. Like that's just what happened, because it cannot be my fault, even though I was led to believe that it was a lot of my fault. Like, you know, I didn't do X, Y, or Z, or I didn't do this, and I'm that cannot be what this is. You know, it's not that. It's just that we weren't compatible.
No, exactly. And that goes into all of this. You know, it's just like, so many people try and shape the way that you feel about yourself, and like, body positivity is breaking free of that, you know, and like, not allowing that to be a part of your narrative anymore, essentially. So no, I appreciate you sharing, you know, your struggles and everything like that. It's hard. And like I said, not every day is easy. I mean, it's like every step backwards, I mean, it's 2 steps forward, but you still have those bad days, you know, where you're sick of looking at yourself. You don't even want to look at yourself, you know, and you're picking apart every single, you know, piece of yourself. And Miss Ash Rocks and I have actually had this same conversation, and I've really started to, especially with my chronic illness, like I've really started to really look at my body parts and just be like, hey, arms, thank you so much for letting me be able to hug my loved ones.
Yes.
Hey, legs, thank you so much for letting me be able to take that walk today with Zayla, my dog. Thank you, tummy, for enjoying that slice of chocolate cake and helping me digest it for, you know, later or whatever. Thank you, eyeballs, for allowing me to be able to see that sunrise this morning. You know, like just really
it's just
thanking your body. Yes.
For like your, it's just, yeah, because at the baseline, I like to ask people, what does your body do for you?
Yes.
You know, because in the end, that's what matters. As I said earlier, we're just in a meat suit. Like this is just our body.
Yeah.
So does your body, like, can you chew your food? Can you eat? Can you wave? Can you drive your car? Like all of this goes into what your body is and does for you.
Yeah.
And that is the bottom line, some of the most important stuff to think about.
Absolutely. Those little celebrations. And like I like sometimes I tell my chat this, or like I tell whoever I'm talking to with about this, like I want you to think about your body for a second, and like your brain is literally fucking telling your heart to not stop beating so that you can get blood to the rest of your body so that your limbs can move. And then your brain stores memories so that you can remember good stuff. Your nose, if it smells a certain smell, it goes to your brain. Your brain's like, oh, remember that one time when you went to the store with your boyfriend? Like, our bodies are absolutely fucking incredible. And I feel like the more we celebrate our body and the magnificent things that it does for us every single day, the more that relationship of loving ourselves grows. Because at the core of it, our bodies are fucking cool. Like my heart's beating, my brain is telling my mouth to tell Sir and the chat these things. Like that's fucking insane. That's awesome.
Your brain is making up an entire line of words for you to say.
Exactly.
And then you just say it, and then you say more stuff, and then like you know, it's so weird how our communication gets like lost in the whole oh, my body sucks or this sucks, and I'm like, yeah, but like listen, you're here and you're talking to me right now. And this is at the very base of what the human race is supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be talking to each other. We're not supposed to be isolated. We're not. I mean, fucking pandemic. We're not supposed to be isolated. We're not supposed to be cut off from people. We're supposed to communicate. It's at the basis of what we are as people.
The core, absolutely. And I feel like the more we celebrate those core things, you know, that also goes into body positivity. You know, so what would you say are some of like your favorite things that, like, I know this is kind of like a hard question, like what are your top tips, but like what are some things that you've just learned in life, or that you've heard like on this one fucking TV show or something where you're like, holy shit, that's actually, I resonate with that. I love that.
I'm gonna kind of go back to the last little bit for a minute, because you said something about acknowledging your body parts, you know, and I do that in like a different way. So I will if I'm feeling really down or something like that, and I just need to like feel different about my body, I will take a piece of a part of my body that I love a lot. So my eyes are one that I love. They're my eyes are insanely blue. My eyes are so blue. I love them so much. So I will take a picture of myself and make sure that my eyes are highlighted, because it doesn't always mean that I'm down on myself, but also if my eyes are fucking stunning, I feel so much better in that picture.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm like, that's one thing that I love. And I'm like, Katelyn, look at your eyes. Like you have such gorgeous eyes. And I'm so happy that you get to share those with people, and people love them back at you. So I think that's one of my tips is like, I think find like a part of your body that you love, and really shine it, really highlight it for yourself, you know?
Yeah.
The other ones are kind of broad, like just stop doubting your body.
Yeah.
Let it do what it does, and enjoy being yourself.
Yeah.
You know, work within your body means.
Yeah.
And don't overexert yourself to be something that you're not, because as much as I want to be super, super, super fit, I'm not that kind of person.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And one day when I'm ready, I will lose weight again, but it's going to be for the reasons that I want to do, and not for someone else.
Exactly.
and own your body in whatever form it's in. So like,
Yeah.
you know, I've created the habit, especially in my stream, and especially in public. Like people don't like this, but especially men hate this.
Yeah.
Where I say, they'll be like, oh man, you look hot, and I'm like, I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
They hate it.
Yeah.
They hate it. But
Can't
it's
take
one
a
thing-
compliment. Yeah.
They're, oh, you stuck up bitch.
Yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, yep, that's me. Thank you. Goodbye.
Yeah.
And you know, so I started doing that kind of stuff because it's reaffirming to me that I know my worth. I know my
Yeah.
physical appearance is awesome, and I did this.
Yeah.
This is me. This is not anyone else. I had no influence from anyone else. I dyed my hair blue because I wanted to.
Yeah.
I got tattoos because I wanted to.
Exactly.
You know.
Yep.
I'm wearing a sweatshirt because I want to. It's cozy. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
This is not the product of someone else.
Yeah.
I take
I
full
love
ownership
that.
in this.
I love that.
That's one really easy way for you to arm yourself. I know.
Yeah.
And just drop it. You
yeah.
know?
Yeah. Like this is me, 100% me. You know.
And yes. And then talking to other people like about their bodies, stop doing the comments of like, oh my god, look at her X, Y, or Z, or oh my god, look at his, because like you have to stop the body shaming at all levels.
Yes.
And that includes to other people's bodies.
yes.
You know.
Yes.
It means not commenting when someone's shirt doesn't look right on them, because
Yeah.
what's right, you know?
Yeah. Seriously, it's all relative, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So stopping all of that kind of talk, and we don't shame other bodies, we don't
Yeah.
shame our own bodies, and we let everyone else exist as they want to.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
it's not my concern who wears what.
Yeah. Like,
I
why is
say-
that any of your business, anyways?
I say stuff like, you are rocking that, you
Yeah.
know? And I'm like, because my opinion regardless doesn't matter,
Yeah.
but saying something negative to somebody else could last forever in
Oh,
that person's mind.
100%. Yes.
So it's not going to help anybody.
Yeah, that lasting effect. Like, you have to think about like what kind of impression you want to leave on this earth, and like what kind of impression you want to have on somebody. You know, if your first thing that you say to somebody is, ooh, like, you know, your shirt,
You could lose some weight.
yeah,
you
or
know?
some shit, you know, like, what, why? You just wasted such a valuable opportunity to help somebody or make their day better, you know?
I think about that a lot. I'm like, you know, if I ever like blew up as a content creator in some fashion, the last thing I'd want is for someone to think that I was a self-centered bitch.
Yeah.
You know,
Obviously, yeah.
although I kind of am a little bit, but listen, in the best ways. I own this, and in my streams, I am the center of their attention. Like, that is 100% what it's supposed to be about.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But that's the good way of doing it. I don't want to be known as being the bitch who didn't care about other people, or
Yeah.
the bitch who talked bad about other people.
Yeah.
I want to be able to leave a good impression on people after my time on Twitch or whatever is done.
Yeah.
I want people to look back and be like, oh my god, I miss SirKatelyn because she was such a good force on
Yeah.
this platform, and we need more
Yeah.
like her.
100%. And you are. Don't ever doubt that about yourself, you know? Yeah.
I-
You're putting
I
in
do
the work.
sometimes, but like,
Yeah.
you know, I think that's like more of a content creator thing than it
Yeah.
is like a body thing.
Yeah.
You know, we all do that. We all say, oh, I'm not doing X, Y, or Z good enough.
Yeah.
Or, you know, we all had the moments of anxiety on stream when, you know, no one shows up at first.
Yeah.
It happens, and it's normal.
Yeah.
It's about pushing through it and knowing that you make someone's day a little bit better.
Yeah. No, I love that. And, you know, it's, for me, like, if I can also answer this question a little bit, you know, it's just like, I love when you talked about, like, you would love to be a fit person. Like, I have to accept that pre Hashimoto's Ashley isn't gonna be the same now. Like, I can't look at that Ashley and like yearn for her so much, because that's just unfortunately not gonna be who I am now. Like, I have to be super careful with my workout regimens. My diet is completely different now, you know.
Right.
Like, I have to just accept that, yes, I can be good enough at this stage of my life. And like, also, if I could speak for women just in general, like, women's bodies are constantly changing anyways, because
All the time.
we're in baby stages, we're in menopause phase of our life, you know. Like, our bodies are constantly changing anyways. you've got to embrace that part of our journey, you know? But I think that's one of my top tips, is just realizing that at each phase in my life, I'm not going to be the same as I was in the last one. And it's just
100%.
It's just acceptance of that, and just realizing that just because I'm not going to be pre-Hashimoto's Ashley doesn't mean that I'm not good enough now. Like,
no, you're just a different level of good
exactly. I'm a different version now. Right. This is Zayla.
So cute.
But so I think this kind of goes into, oh, thank you, by the way. Sorry. She knows. No, if I could kind of go into the next thing. So this is so great because I feel like it's really tunneled in now at this point. And I mean, you can reiterate if you would like, but if someone was having a hard time with, you know, body positivity or self-image or just self-acceptance, self-love, like what would be your advice to them right now? You know,
I've like given some tips, like when a friend,
yes.
I had a friend one time where it was like, they were really just distraught. They were having a breakdown because they were like just tired of their body, and they're like, oh, I'm not in a good place with my body. And I'm like, hey, I need you to step back for a minute and take a huge breath. Like, first of all, let's just breathe for a sec together. Okay.
Yeah.
So I will like have them focus on that breath, like ins and outs. And then I'll say, I need you to go to the bathroom right now and wash your face. Wash it, because sometimes having the shit on your face from the bullshit day, wash it off. Just get rid of it. It makes you feel fresh and better. That's always the go-to whenever I'm having a bad day. I go and wash my face. And sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. But if nothing else, it helps wash your face. Hydrate yourself a little bit. There's just ways to make you feel a little bit better. And then you remember that you are in control of your reactions.
Yes.
And know that you are in control of how you perceive yourself, and you are in control of your body. So like if it's like one of those breakdowns where like you really do just want to change and you're ready to like commit to like a workout or whatever, like know that you are in control of that. You like, no one else is going to make you. You have to do it for yourself, and you have to be at that point where you're ready to do it. And also, one thing that I'm constantly learning is that people tend to point out their own insecurities in others. And so whenever people point out your insecurities, it's usually because they're feeling insecure about themselves. And that's not my problem. I can't control someone else's insecurities. You know?
It's not your job to do that.
Right. It's usually not about you personally. I've had to do that too. I'm like, they're not insulting me because of me as a person. They're insulting me because of X, Y, and Z circumstance that they didn't get to do or couldn't do. It's not my fault. So I have to take myself out of the situation sometimes and say, it's not about me. They're just angry. You know?
Exactly.
And then I kind of said it earlier, but like selfies have been a huge confidence booster for me. Whether or not I post them, like there's a bunch where I'll just like have a selfie like photo shoot in my bedroom. And I'll be like, oh my God, my lips look great today. My chin looks great. Like, or I'll do the really funny selfies that you guys have all seen. Like, I do this. And it just makes me feel better. I'm like, if I'm making myself laugh about my body, then I'm okay. You know?
You've won that battle.
Correct. If you wear your insecurities as armor, they can't be used against you. I learned that from Tyrion in Game of Thrones.
I love that. That's so true. It's so true.
It's one thing that I've used. So like, you know, I definitely don't self-deprecate, because I think that's a borderline very negative tactic. But I also don't let people's like, oh my God, you're fat. Like, and cool, great. What else do you have in your arsenal there? You know?
Okay, what does that mean?
Right. So, okay, great. You're tall. You know, it's just an adjective. So, acknowledging what other people are saying and knowing that it's not about you, and knowing that at the end of the day, you're still you. Like, you are still your person. I think that's the most important thing that you can do. It takes some serious like self-reflection to do. You have to be comfortable with having the honest conversations about yourself and to yourself.
You're not perfect. Yes, journaling.
painting's been a huge help for me.
Yeah, I love your
started
painting.
I just slap the colors on the thing and then mix them together.
Still.
And it just like it really is very calming to me.
Yeah.
And I can't quite explain it. It's just been very, very nice for me to do whenever I'm overwhelmed or feeling like heavy or something like that. I just throw a canvas down and slather paint on it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's cathartic. Yeah.
Yes.
It's just, yeah. No, and I love that because like it's also realizing like you're not perfect. You know, like everybody has flaws. Like literally we are human beings. We're not perfection embodied. Like we all have flaws. We all have things, you know, going on in our lives, and kind of just accepting like I'm a human and this is kind of it, you know, and like either take it or leave it kind of thing. It also has to go like inside, you know, like some of the things that, you know, I'm like super insecure about, like I have a lazy eye, you know, or you know, like my teeth, I broke my tooth when I was chewing a peppermint and it's like smaller than the others, you know, like all of that stupid little shit, you know, like at the end of the day, and this is me, I guess, maybe being a little bit self-centered, maybe a little bit, at the end of the day, I know I'm a good person.
Yes.
I know I'm doing my best. And I feel like that counts way more than my stupid lazy eye and my teeth, you know? So
like if you don't like my lazy eye, then don't look at it. You know? If you don't like my smile, then don't look at it. Like I can't control how you feel about me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's a huge power move, is knowing that you can't control how someone else feels about you, but you can control how you feel about you.
Yeah. No, exactly. And like even though I've had like a lot of like hardships in the modeling world, there have been so many incredible things that have happened to me too. Like I'll be on set and they're just like, you are such a hardworking person and you remind me of a sunny summer day. Like that to me, like that means more than any body part they could have picked out and be like, you've got a fat ass or something. Yeah, no, exactly. Like that means more to me. Like I'm sunshine in a human form. Like that means a lot to me, you know, or like you're hardworking, you're deserving of this. Like, holy shit, thank you so much. You know, like that means more to me than like what I look like. And I think
I've had a lot of those moments in the last like several months. I just like you know, whenever I get to like a new milestone or something, or I get to like a new follower goal or whatever, I always tell my chat, I'm like, I'm not deserving of this. And then they always battle back with, yes, you are.
Yeah.
Because and that makes me so emotional, because I'm like, there's still negative self-talk, and it's not always about my body, but it is about me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're right, I am deserving of this.
Yeah.
I work really hard, you know, and I am deserving, and I matter. And so having those talks and being vulnerable on camera with my stream, it could be hard. I mean, just talking about it, I almost started tearing up. So I'm like, it's really been awesome being able to be a content creator who's okay with being vulnerable with. I have no problem crying on my stream. I do it all the time because I feel something, and if I feel something, I'm not gonna hide it. I'm not gonna pretend that it's not there. I like dealing with my emotions on stream. My chat has seen me get mad, sad, overly happy. I've cried from laughing. I've cried because I've been just emotional. And they've seen me in every single way, and I really am so grateful that I kept on streaming. Because
I think we all are that you kept going.
It's just it's been such a positive thing for me. It's really helped me deal with people, and really helped me deal with myself a little bit differently.
There's something about like not being able to like filter yourself, like you're live, and like you have to go into that moment and just be who you ultimately are, you know. And like you can't filter it out. You can't, this isn't a highlight reel, this is all of me, you know.
I've never been one to say that like I could do YouTube, because I can't. I'm not like that. I can't rehearse myself. I'm the worst at it. So I just can't do it. I like being live for that reason. I do everything on the fly. I don't plan anything out. I usually come into stream saying, hey, I have no clue what we're doing tonight, but we're gonna do something.
Hey,
and
what's
it always
up?
Ends up being fine.
No, I love that. And you know, again, thank you just so much for all of your streams, all of your talks, all of your clips that you've posted on Twitter, you know, talking about these things, and obviously for joining me for this one. And I think to kind of round things out, I would love for you to, again, if you wouldn't mind, you know, dropping your links and your socials again, and just telling people about your stream again. You can even, like, if there's a specific game you're playing right now, if there's a series that you're looking forward to, you can talk about those things too, if you would like.
Again, my name is SirKatelyn. You guys can call me Sir or Katelyn. Don't call me Kate. I'm primarily a horror streamer, so I stream a lot of horror games. I speedrun Outlast. I speedrun Resident Evil 7.
Yes.
I love speedrunning Resident Evil 7. I'm bad at it, but it's fine. I just don't care.
Yeah.
But I also play games like Phasmophobia. I am in the middle of a game called Escape the Ayuoki, which is a Michael Jackson horror game.
Okay.
And it's Michael Jackson being an absolute creep. It's really
What
fun
the
to watch.
fuck? That sounds
it's just
awesome.
It's oddly terrifying.
Okay.
I wasn't ready for how terrifying it was going to be.
Okay. Interesting.
So I'm doing that. I'm live at least 3 days a week. I've been kind of like riffing it a little bit because I think I'm going to change my schedule soon. But it's posted on my Twitch, so you guys can follow me if you want to.
Okay.
And I'm on everything as at SirKatelyn. Instagram's different. It has 3 N's.
Check below her camera.
Yeah. So I'm a weird soul. I'm a very open soul, and I love everything about this, about who I am.
Yeah.
We have all the kinds of talks on my channel from body positivity to sex positivity and we get dirty too. It's just great.
Yeah.
It's just
well,
we're
adults here. We're adults here. You know,
we're adults here. It's I think that along with body positivity, sex positivity needs a voice. People are not comfortable talking about sex in general, but they want to learn. Yeah.
100%.
And so it's nice to have a group of people who are talking about it openly and not afraid to.
Oh yeah.
And it's all kinds. It's like, hey, if you're, you know, kinky, if you're straight, if you're gay, if we have every single kind of people in my channel, and I'm like, I love it because we're all different. We all have different experiences.
Yeah,
you know?
and being Demi, you know, under the asexual spectrum, like, sex is different for me too.
Yes.
So being able to talk about that and like what that means to me as an individual, you know, and like being biromantic and stuff like that, like what does that mean for sex and just all those things, like I think that definitely needs to be talked about more, because not a lot of people understand that there is, like, it's not just being super sexual and not sexual at all. There are like different spectrums.
There's so many areas.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm still learning about all of them too.
Yeah.
I will never claim to be an expert, but that's why I like having those conversations because my community teaches me back.
Yeah. Being open to learning. Being open to learning is another awesome thing about being a content creator and having, you know, a community that is so, you know, different and, you know, has an array of personalities and, you know, sexualities and all that stuff too. So, no, I agree with that. So, again, friends, if you type in !MASH, there is Sir's Twitch channel. Please be sure to go follow that and follow on all socials. If you look below her camera, that is how you spell it if you're unsure. And yeah, drop a follow. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do.
Of course.
Of course. I hope you liked it.
I did.
Okay. Good. That makes me happy. That makes me happy.
I promise I would tell you if I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm like way too honest.
Yeah, no. And I, you know, like I told you in the beginning, I need that in my life because
I think everyone does. I think that people are scared to be honest.
Yeah.
It's what we need.
Yeah. But also, like, I've always had the friends that are like, oh, well, when you did this pissed me off that one time 5 months ago. I'm like, if you would have been honest with me right then and told me right then that it pissed you off, I would have changed it. And now I'm good. Now, you know, anyway. You get it.
Like they were resenting you.
Yeah, no, exactly. So thank you for being honest. I appreciate you. And thank you for being on the show. I appreciate it so much.